Hello. All right. So this already says we've got two people, which is awesome. I know one is Jason. Oh, now it only says it's bouncing all over the place. Anyway, so make sure you leave a comment to say hi so I know who's visiting, who's popped on for the chat. We'll start with our mail call. I got an envelope in the mail. And we all have that one friend who, as much as we love them, they'll send like a Christmas card. They'll use a Christmas card in April. Anyways, this says, yes, it's safe to open and read on air. So this is from Troll Forge. It says, hey, Mercy, hope this finds you and Jason well, and the plague hasn't got to you. No, not yet. These are some extra seeds that were ordered. And Tim and I had actually talked online, or on the telephone, about these seeds. These are some different types of open pollinated apple seeds that I've got. So I've got Rubiette and Wixen. So I will have to look these up as far as what the type of apples they're going to be. And also they remembered that I had wanted, last year I had mentioned that I wanted to plant 100 more trees on the property in the next 5 years. Well, we're down to 4 years now. And they said that they've been rescuing tree seedlings for me. So once everything is going well and everything settled down, we will definitely be getting in touch to come visit and pick up some seedlings. But these will be a good start to add to our apple collection for next year. Pardon me. So who else is here? I know that Jay is on. He already said hi. Who else? Start from seed. Hey, Jason. The other Jason. Awesome. Okay. Now, hopefully, my friend Judy will show up. She was wanting to know about chickens, and I know she has dreams of having her own coop. But although they live very close to us, they are actually in the woods. And her husband has mentioned many times that they have coyotes running across the front garden. And foxes will just sit there in the middle of the road and sunbathe where they are. So free-range chickens are not an option for her. Plus, they do grow a few plants that are very toxic to chickens as well. So how's everything going with your bunnies, Jason? Hopefully everything's going well with everybody and the babies are doing well. Bunnies are good. Oh, good. Yeah, I was on your last video, I was half expecting some cheesy 60s or 70s background music. Honestly, when I first read what it was, we were kind of expecting something funny. Yes, I hope so too, because I want one. I want one. You have to promise, and you're not allowed to sell one on me. You have to get me a girl, save me a little girl. So, yeah. So I don't know who the third person is watching. Whoever it is, they're not talking. Okay, now I've got it in writing, and I'm holding you to that, just so that you know. So, how are all your chickens doing? Are you planning on hatching out some yourself this year, or are you thinking of getting some from a hatchery? We're hoping to hatch out a few. Though I need more chickens, like I need another hole in the head. I'm just waiting for the girls to go broody, and then hopefully we can get a few more going. Those ones will be freezer camp, so I can't get attached to those ones at all. Pardon me. I was working out in the coop, and every time I work in the coop with a straw for about 2 days, I end up with an itchy throat. May have started contacting some Beveran breeders for what? Oh, I'm going to have to Google those and see what those look like. They sound interesting. No, rooster. Yeah, it's kind of necessary to be able to have more chicks. We have plenty of roosters. Many that really should have been rehomed back in the fall, really. I think we still have 11 roosters, 11 or 12. So, hey, William, nice to see ya. How you doing? Oh, no. Yeah, those foxes are bad. We had the coyotes doing really, like coming through here a lot last year. You're doing chores, William. Okay. So, taking care of the garden chores. Your seedlings are looking amazing on your videos. I just got my blue Kent the Kent blue, pardon me, into the soil. I got some from Bill and Val, some more. So I'm going to try and get them going. But they're going to be treated more like a sweet pea. They're going to be protected and strictly for the flowers. But yeah, Jason, we had a terrible time last year with the foxes and the coyotes. They got one of our guinea fowl, our girl, because we only had 2. So they took the girl last year, and our poor boy George he's moping and he's miserable. So we're hoping to get. I'm supposed to be getting some Keats from a friend of mine, so that we can have some friends for George. Yes, thanks for popping in, William, because I know you don't have chickens. Your Kent blue germinated really well this year. That's awesome. That's good. So hopefully I'll have a good germination this year too. And we'll have lots of pictures to show everyone. So okay, I will keep that in mind, Jason. Because it's a friend of mine actually, just a couple concessions over, and she does raise Keats. And I messaged her a while ago saying that as soon as they start laying, I need to be put on that list for a bunch of Keats. So, and I know they're loud and they can be annoying as can be. The idiot squad, as a lot of people refer to them. But when we had 2 guineas, we never saw any ticks on the property. Before that, the place was crawling with them. After that, we've seen a couple, and Jay and I were both bit last year by ticks, and it's just, it's miserable. And turns out I actually have an allergic reaction to it. So I really want more Keats. Sorry. So who says we have 4, but I'm only, so I don't know who's watching in the background. Why your male might not adopt the new flock, my suburban boys. Okay. Interesting. Generally, I like to raise my Keats under a broody hen. And it's funny because actually George and Betty were raised under a little wee Banty, a blue Wyandotte Banty this big named Penny. She's so tiny, but she raised a whole bunch of Keats. And then it was down to just, we got rid of, we had quite a few boys, so we got rid of the others. And I'll tell you, he thinks he's a chicken. He really does. He still sticks his head under Penny's arm, under her wing, when he's cold. And, you know, his body, it just dwarfs her. But that head still goes under her wing. He still comes up to her like, "Hey, Mama, I'm cold." It's absolutely adorable. And if any of the other chickens are bothering her, he comes in and he lets them know to stay away. Tonight, we have a black Wyandotte named Fezzik, and he's a bit of an ass. I'm sorry, but it's true. He can be a jerk. So he was bugging Penny at dinner time, and well, Fezzik just grabbed him, George grabbed him by the butt, feathers and all, and just moved him away, pulled him away from Penny so that he just could not get near her, and just made sure she got her dinner and she was good. And he's very, very protective of her, which is adorable. And then we have the interspecies bromance between our yard bunny and CK Dexter Haven. Sorry, I'm just trying to read. Guineas are rather monogamous and tend to bear. Okay. Well, he was bonded to his girl Betty, and then when she died, he'd always been very protective of his mom, the little hen that he thought was mom. So we'll have to see how that goes. We may have to make sure that the new guineas stay in the second coop, because we have the 2 coops. We have the original one, which is made out of cedar. It's a great big. It's a, well, what's the dimension on it, Jay? 8 by 11, I think, and it's like 4 ash posts make up the corners. You know, a tornado. It would take a tornado to hurt that thing. So, anyways, George and Penny are in there, and so I might have to just keep the others in the greenhouse. 8 weeks is big enough to compete. Yeah, I usually keep my Keats because they're kind of gangly and seem very awkward for about 3 months. I usually try and keep them contained in a 4 by 4 cage that we use. It's a box that Jason has made that has a lid on it, and I just keep a lot. Yeah, the green coop is 104 square feet. And then we have the greenhouse. Well, it was supposed to have been a greenhouse. Got taken over by chickens because the flock expanded and we didn't have enough room in the other one. So yeah, I'll just try and keep my my next batch in the other coop, and then hopefully, because they're not going for the same coop, hopefully that'll help ease some of the tension. Like the eggs were nice, but I don't really, that's not the purpose of them. They're strictly tick control as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. By 8 weeks, they're good enough at flying and running. Yeah, and again, most mine always end up seeming to think that they're chickens just because of the way we raise them. But I get them as day olds. So literally the hens, you know, the chickens are the only other things they really know. Yeah, exactly. Rather no ticks. Yeah, the chickens rule the roost around here to a great extent. That and Yard Bunny, Mr. Bunnykins, who's best friends with a rooster named CK. Yeah, we have quite the menagerie. We'll just call it the zoo. It's not a farm because, well, the animals don't work that well. I tried to get the chickens to work in the front garden. No, no, they didn't. None of them went where I wanted them. Yes, that's why you're making cold frames. Yes, love. So that we can get some plants started without the chickens eating them. I look forward to seeing videos on how you do hatching your Keats under some chickens. Hopefully you have Buff Orpingtons, so they're usually in my experience, they're a very broody chicken. So hopefully that should go really well for you and give you some good videos. So, but yeah, try to get them to work in this one garden that we're doing. And I wanted them to scratch up the ground. No, they wandered everywhere else. I even put some in where we have chicken wire around it. Nope, they wouldn't have it. They just walked around the edge of the fence and like, let me out, let me out. I don't want to be in here. Everyone else is over there. So, so what else is new with everybody? What are you up to, William? Let's see, what else do we have going? We've decided we have 3 old cold frames in the backyard. And we were originally going to try and bring some up to the front, but they're too heavy to move. Jay made them very, very solidly, and there's no way we can move them. So we're just going to refill them with all the compost, and that's going to just end up being like the livestock garden. So my open pollinated spaghetti squash that were planted way too close to the zucchini, and I know they've cross pollinated, so who knows what kind of squash is going to be on them, but the chickens and the rabbits won't care. We're going to put in some kale back there and Swiss chard. And what else do I have for that garden? Radishes, so that the radish tops for the rabbits. That'll be good. So that's what we've been doing lately, is just trying to get those ready for plants. Stupid warm. Oh, William, rub it in, why don't you? We still have to have the fireplace going because it's been quite chilly at night, and the little duck pond is freezing. Strange dusting of snow when it was about 8 degrees. Very weird. Well, it was weird just for you, William. It was just to confuse you, I'm sure. Yeah, we had snow. What was it? 6 out of the last 2 weeks, or last week and a half. At least 6 of the days we've had some snow. It's been ridiculous. 20 plus less. You're right. You're not weird. So 20 plus. Oh, I am looking forward to the warm weather. I am not looking forward to the black flies and the mosquitoes. That's not something I'm looking forward to. We actually saw some back about a week ago when we had warm weather. We had a couple warm days in a row. And yeah, we had some black flies hovering around, but they were still pretty dopey and not quite biting yet, thank goodness. But did not enjoy it. Don't enjoy the bugs at all. But I noticed that the ducks try to catch the little black flies as they're flying through. So that's kind of cute. So yeah, we've been getting some duck eggs from our call ducks, which are quite small and very cute and blue. I didn't realize duck eggs were so waxy. Yes, we did have a few really nice days. So I miss ACS. I miss her gorgeous floral videos and photography. I have her email. I should drop her a line and see how she's doing. So, but yeah, we've been getting some duck eggs. The problem is I find that we're not eating them that much because I put them into the fridge. Hey, Marie, how are you? Yes, we all miss Chris. A shining beacon on YouTube of positivity. Marie, I started some of those pink spiky flowers, and I have a couple of the purple bumblebee tomatoes that are about this high. The hyssop's coming up nicely too. And are you supposed to start the red orac direct sown, or is that something you can start ahead of time in the house? That was something I haven't been able to find out yet. So yes, I can't wait for the flowers. Those will be, I'm sure they'll be beautiful. I've already figured I'm going to put them down by the garlic garden where I need to get them. Okay, you start all your flower seeds in the house. The red, maybe I'm not saying it right. It's kind of like a tall, spiky spinach. The red orac. Do you start those inside too? I know that according to Ryan, once they take a hold, they'll self-seed, and I'll never get rid of them. And that's fine because my son loves spinach and, direct sow the Auric. Okay, awesome. Awesome. We figured out where that's going to. It's going to go in a small, Auric is a weed. It's going to go in a small fenced off little garden. Well, all our gardens are eventually getting fences so that the yard bunny and the chickens don't destroy everything. But it's going to go kind of in the corners of this small garden, and then there's going to be just rows of beets in front of it. So should look pretty. No, I'm putting the hyssop down and the pink spiky flower down near the garlic. That's what's going down there. It's going to be herbs and flowers because I need more pollinators down that end of the garden. Hello, Maria. Okay, you've joined all the way from Wawa. Thank you very much for the compliment on the cold frame video. That's very sweet of you. Of course, I know you love all my videos because you're one of my best friends. Oh, I didn't realize that Auric is related to quinoa. Interesting. I have to admit, we've never been one, like our family's never really been one for doing quinoa. It's never been a flavor we really enjoyed. So, oh, and that's one of your favorites. There you go. No accounting for taste. Yeah. I'd be just as happy with a rice. Like if I'm going for a grain, I'm just as happy with rice, honestly. So, oh, you were being sarcastic. Thanks. Oh, good for you, Maria. Spending all day transplanting seedlings into cups. Yeah, I've got a few that I've been transplanting up into cups. I didn't bother doing a video on it because it's kind of boring. Fill the cup, shove the plant in, top it up, put it to the side. No one wants to watch me do that all day. But yeah, I've got some tomatoes and some cucumber and some spaghetti squash that are already into cups. My hyssop and my pink spiky flowers in cups. What else? A few other different things. I remember my mom having us pulling pigweed out of the garden and, her constantly saying, don't shake the flowers because we don't want seeds. Yeah, it's a relaxing job to do, William. It's something where you can just, I got to get a radio or something downstairs where I do it, but you can just kind of relax and zone out and pot up, and you get a rhythm going with it, and it can be very relaxing. Except I find usually my dog, half the time the dog goes nuts, but 2 minutes into, just as I'm getting set up, the dog goes nuts, and I have to run upstairs and see what what's he barking at? Usually it's a squirrel outside the window. And, you know, and then go back down and, you know, playing, you know, get going again. And I like doing it when my son's home so that he can take care of the dog. He potted up 60 tomato plants. Yeah, I guess you're doing a lot of sauce this year, William. Or are you going to give a few away? What types of tomatoes did you get going? Peppers yesterday and Tom's last week. Yeah, I've got some peppers. Yeah, sauce rolls. I've got some peppers that I've potted up. They're carnival blend or all sorts. I've got some Mr. Fotheringills, and then I also have a Burpees mix pack. I just needed some sweet peppers because the ones that I had purchased, which were to be, you know, they were supposed to be a really awesome from a locally sourced, locally grown pepper from Greta's Garden, I believe it's called. I had bought these, they're supposed to be chocolate sweet ones, and they've never worked. Okay, thank you, Jason, for dropping by. I'm so glad you joined us. Really appreciate it. So, probably just about time for him to close up the coops. You heading off? Okay, on our last 2 bags of frozen from last year, so we need to make more sauce for this year. Okay, we did everything the way it went last fall. We just ended up, because all the tomatoes came in right at the same time as the fair, so we ended up just throwing a bunch into the freezer in Ziploc baggies, and then later in October, when we had a few minutes, we pulled them out and did just straight tomato sauce that can be like straight canned tomatoes, which can be used easily for, you know, cabbage rolls or into a soup base, or then go from there into some sort of a sauce. We didn't make actual like spaghetti sauce or anything like that last year. I find the fall around here ends up so crazy, and everything just with our when our fall fair is, it's literally, it seems to be right at the same time as everything else. So I've stepped back a lot with the fair, but it still controls a lot of what gets done around here. Maria planted delphiniums and yellow peach. Oh, planted yellow peach and purple, as well as flowering kale at coleus of different colors fruit pots, and planted your basil into individual pots. Oh, that'll be really nice. You'll have to post pictures, Maria, of your beautiful flowers so that I can see them. Do you still have gladiola bulbs for Bob? Because I actually bought glads last year and planted them and thought of Bob, knowing how much he loves them. I've never started delphiniums from seed. Forever ago, we had purchased, they were supposed to be called cherry pink delphiniums. They were supposed to be a miniature delphinium. And as the years went on, they took on more and more of a blue hue, and they got taller and taller and taller. So, and here, as much as I love delphiniums, the wind is just too crazy and they would be absolutely destroyed. It would be terrible. Pacific Giants. So is Pacific Giant the type of delphinium you planted, William? Because like I love those, I love delphiniums as part of like those old English cottage gardens that you see in the postcards and paintings. And you always see delphiniums, and you'll see things like hollyhocks and the roses, and it's just everything is so beautiful and so ideal. But I find that when you live where you get minus 40 sometimes in the wintertime, it just doesn't work. I even had some that I had put pots over to try and save, and they just didn't last. Okay, so that's what happened to them. The native eyes. My goodness, I think I'm going to start needing glasses to do these live streams. Yeah, I love pansies. Absolutely love pansies. I do have a packet of seeds that I want to clear a little section and then just scatter them so that they'll just kind of pop up all over in amongst a few of the others. No, we didn't finish that one trellis. It the wood actually started falling apart as I was trying to work on it. So we will be making hopefully a trellis this year. Have to get move halfway through washing my hair. Oh, all right, William. You take care. Say hi to Mrs. C for us all. Marie, that was good, but it was a bit of a low blow. It's a good thing he's got such a good sense of humor. But but Maria, we are going to try and figure out a trellis of some sort. We just have to do one that won't fall apart. Yes, see you next week. Take care, William. Bye-bye. Such a good thing that he's got a good sense of humor. But it's actually, it's after 7 already. Gave a whack of seedlings to Monica for her garden. Gave her basil, cilantro, tomatoes, picnic cakes as well. Oh, good. So Mon should have a really good garden this year. She can start teaching. What's the baby's name? And I know he's not a baby anymore. He's getting kind of big. But, she can teach him young, too, how to garden. But it's almost 10 after 7, and I usually try and wrap this up at 7, just so that I'm not holding people captive for their Friday evening. So I'm going to say goodnight. We still have to go and make dinner. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you all. Hopefully, you'll all be able to join again next week. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.